breaking news from KXAN News.
Now, breaking news we just brought to you on KXAN News at 4. Austin police have just released the body camera footage of officers shooting and killing a man on 6th Street.
It all happened on Saturday night on December 16th. APD says officers arrived after 29-year-old Trey Hernandez tried to enter a bar with a gun. Now check it out. This view shows the shooting from a body-worn camera a detective wore, showing an officer gesturing at Hernandez. Then Hernandez pulls a gun from his waistband and you hear several gunshots. Officers then open fire and Hernandez falls to the ground.
And then we have some security camera video showing a wider view, at least half a dozen officers surrounding Hernandez, and then a flurry of activity leading to several gunshots and then Hernandez falling to the ground. Now, if we slow it down for you, as one officer swoops in to try and grab Hernandez's weapon. This is just one of the angles of several videos police just released. APD says Detective Christopher Bell, Senior Police Officer Thomas Childress, and Senior Police Officer Bradley Smith fired their department-approved firearms at Hernandez. They also say Hernandez fired his weapon as well. We will continue to look through all the other angles. We'll bring you more coming up on KXAN News at 6.
Now to the border, where a delegation of congressional Republicans are meeting at the Rio Grande, pushing for tougher border policies.
Republicans are putting the issue front and center as negotiators try to reach a deal to stop the flow of illegal crossings, while also trying to add more aid to Ukraine and Israel. NBC's Bree Jackson has the latest on the border battle.
A decades-old problem carrying over into 2024, the flow of illegal migrants crossing the U.S. southern border.
And it's been overwhelming for us. We haven't stopped during the holidays.
House Speaker Mike Johnson leading a group of nearly 60 Republicans to Eagle Pass, Texas Wednesday to get a first-hand look. Conservatives demanding change.
And we're now 3 years into the Biden administration with no change in sight.
Border talks are resuming as Congress returns to Capitol Hill. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says negotiators are making progress.
It's very nice you go to the border, but the way to get something done is work.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas contends the Biden administration's efforts are working.
More Border Patrol agents, more asylum officers, more immigration judges, more investment in technology to battle the scourge of fentanyl.
Border Patrol reported a decrease in numbers to start the new year, but even the administration is not optimistic the drop will last.
They gotta do something. They gotta give me the money I need to protect the border.
Republicans say they won't give President Biden what he wants, more aid to help Israel's war against Hamas and Ukraine's fight against Russian aggression, without major policy changes.
It's important that members in the House and Senate not fall for the White House's border security trap, and only will agree to true border security measures that stops this flow.
Congress facing crisis at our own border and overseas.
Well, some Republicans are threatening to shut down the federal government unless there are more actions taken to stem the flow of those migrants. Today, Republicans also announcing the House Homeland Security Committee will start impeachment proceedings against Secretary Mayorkas, with the first hearing coming up on January 10th. Ahead on KXAN News at 6, our Ryan Chandler is live from Eagle Pass with the very latest on the issue and where the DOJ's threat to sue Texas stands.
First warning weather with Chief Meteorologist David Yeomans.
Well, it's been a cloudy and cold winter day across central Texas, but finally in the most recent frames here of the satellite loop, the clouds are showing signs of thinning out and breaking just a bit. We haven't seen any rain from these, but you can see the sky finally brightening up a little bit this evening. 51 degrees as we're now about 35 minutes from sunset. Won't see much of that here on our Southeast Austin Whittlesey Landscape Supply Camp. It's in the 40s in some areas where it's been all day. 49 in Fredericksburg and in Georgetown, 49 as well right now in Giddings. Coming up in your forecast, this active weather pattern continues. We've got some fog that may interfere overnight into the morning. I'll show you where that's most likely. 2 more rounds of rain that are still coming and what El Nino has to do with it.
All right, David, thank you very much. New police documents filed today in the investigation into an Austin man who has been called a serial killer. Raul Mesa Jr. is already accused of 2 Austin murders since 2019.
In a search warrant affidavit obtained by KXAN, police write they have found an APD cold case homicide from 2018 that seems to mirror Mesa's previous alleged crimes. KXAN's Sam Stark breaks down this new information tonight.
Tuesday, Austin police filed a search warrant affidavit to gain access to Raul Meza's Google account, which they believe will help them uncover more details in the murders Meza is already linked to, as well as any additional cold case homicides. In those documents, an investigator wrote that an APD detective identified a 2018 cold case that matches Meza's modus operandi, or signature pattern. Officers arrested Meza in May after he confessed to murdering 80-year-old Jesse Fraga. While confessing, he implicated himself in the murder of his former neighbor, Gloria Lofton. He also told the officer in the confession that he committed a double homicide in San Antonio years prior. The new search warrant affidavit revealed that police believe the shooting occurred in San Antonio sometime between the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2019. After his May arrest, officials held a press conference telling reporters Meza may be connected to as many as 10 cold cases.
And has killed how many people we don't know. So here's a serial killer that justice was not served. So it was a travesty of justice.
In Austin, Sam Stark, KXAN News.
And APD did clarify with us today that there are no current updates or new developments in the ongoing investigations related to Raul Meza. APD says it is doing everything possible to confirm whether Meza is tied to multiple possible cold cases in the Austin and San Antonio areas. Now, we have a timeline of his complete criminal history in a special section of our website. You can find that at KXAN.com.
Well, a list of Jeffrey Epstein's associates is set to roll out slowly starting today, but some names could be postponed. The release of more than 150 names mentioned in court documents as part of a civil case filed by one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims, Virginia Guffrey, but U.S. District Judge Loretta Preska has delayed the release of some documents associated with those who have objected to the disclosure of their names until a later date. In one case, an attorney for Jane Doe 107 asked Judge Preska for clarification on whether the name of his client would be unsealed. The attorney said his client lives in a culturally conservative country outside of the United States and is in fear of her name being released.
Well, coming up, my sit-down talk with Austin Mayor Kirk Watson, what he's saying about the ongoing police staffing issues and also what's ahead for the city and himself in 2024.
And suspicions about who is responsible for the death of a Hamas leader, what this means as the war between Israel and Hamas rages on.
Plus, an Austin family wants answers after their teenage daughter was hit by a car over the weekend. How they're taking matters into their own hands.
A late-night robbery and shooting at this Quick Check gas station here in Fredericksburg, leaving one person dead, and now the suspect is on the loose. Police searching for that man and hoping that someone might have seen him. Coming up, we'll have all the details and what you need to know about this incident.
Well, as 2024 gets going, I met up with Austin's mayor today for his first sit-down interview of the year. Now, first off, he told me he does plan on running for re-election in November. We also talked about ongoing challenges for the city in the coming year, including the ongoing issue of police staffing and the lack of a contract between the city and the police union. Mayor Kirk Watson told me he is confident 2024 will usher in a new contract to help with officer recruitment and retention, pointing toward his relationship with the new president of the Austin Police Association.
I will say that my conversations with him since his election have been very positive. He speaks real clearly, and I can hear him clearly, and I look forward to the opportunity to work with him. So I guess I would say I'm very hopeful.
And coming up at 6, what the mayor had to say about the city's relationship with the state, a relationship that at times has been contentious in the past.
The killing of a Hamas leader in Lebanon has sparked vows of retribution from the country's Hezbollah militants. And though Israel has not formally taken responsibility, experts say there is little doubt about who is behind the killing or the signal that it sends. Hamas's number 2, Saleh al-Aruri, was killed along with 6 other top militants in Beirut. Now, media like Axios and the Washington Post are both saying U.S. intelligence believe Israel is responsible. This marks a major escalation. If suspicions are true, Israel reached into neighboring countries and into Hezbollah territory. Hezbollah, like Hamas, is backed by Iran. Hezbollah has been fighting against the Israelis ever since October 7th, creating mounting casualties, hundreds of people on both sides. The Israelis and Hezbollah have so far shielded away from an all-out war, but that could all change after last night's assassinations.
Well, some doctors are still struggling to access something to prevent kids from getting RSV. What's keeping these doctors from using it as sicknesses rise?
Well, no rainfall today, but thanks to the heavy rain yesterday, we have now received almost half of our monthly average for January, 1.28 inches so far in the city, 1.51 falling yesterday at the airport. We'll have your first warning forecast with 2 more storms coming after this.
A 14-year-old girl remains in grave condition after she was hit by a car over the weekend in Austin. The teen's family says they know little about what happened and the police have only now reached out to them.
Loved ones tell KXAN Sarah Al-Sheh they've taken matters into their own hands.
A bag of cans and other items. The Carter family collected them as potential evidence while walking along Farm Haven Road, the same area where 14-year-old Treasure Carter was found lying on the ground unconscious Sunday evening.
Her body was about here.
Austin Travis County EMS says it responded to a vehicle pedestrian incident on this road and took a teenage patient to Del Seaton Medical Center with critical, life-threatening injuries. Imani Carter says that was her younger sister, Treasure, who was riding her scooter at the time.
I just hear my mom screaming like my baby got hit. She knows how to watch her surroundings, so it was just really surprising because she always makes it back in the house.
Carter says they don't know who did this and they worry the Austin Police Department isn't doing everything they can. So they took matters into their own hands.
We've been knocking on the doors and asking if anyone has any cameras that point towards this road.
Hours after KXAN reached out to APD about the case, the family says they finally received a call for the first time. But they tell us they didn't receive any update and were only told APD would be in touch. So Carter says they'll continue surveying the scene, looking for answers and praying for a miracle as Treasure, known as the life of the party,
she will light up any room,
now fights for her life.
She's the glue to our family and we really need her.
Sarah Al-Sheh, KXAN News.
And APD tells us no arrests have been made. This is an ongoing investigation. They say the Carters are hoping the driver involved comes forward. This story came from a Report It. If you have a story idea, tip, or something you want us to look into, take out your phone and scan this QR code on your screen here with your camera. It will take you to our Report It feature where you can send all those different things to us.
And this isn't the first time that we've heard concerns about this road. In June, an Austin parent told us she doesn't let her kids walk to school at Bluebonnet Trail Elementary because she believes the intersection of Farm Haven Road and Harris Branch Parkway is unsafe, with drivers sometimes blowing through stop signs. When KXAN's Dylan McKim was out there conducting an interview back in the summer, he said there were 3 close calls. The city's Safe Routes to School program audited the intersection back in 2017. The report found there was limited visibility and difficulty in crossing at the intersection. The audit recommended a high visibility crosswalk and also those red traffic control lights that allow pedestrians to cross.
It has been nearly 6 months since the FDA approved a new drug to help minimize RSV cases in infants and young children. But now many pediatricians in Austin and beyond are still struggling to try to access the shots as respiratory illnesses continue to spread. Now, we spoke to Tarrytown Pharmacy today. They say they can't access the kid-friendly shots due to limited supply and surging demand.
Availability for the pediatric version of the RSV shot is still very limited. Just looking today at our ordering software from our wholesaler, it still shows unavailable. It's all zeroed out, which means there's none available for purchase.
And the latest data from the CDC found Texas RSV positivity rate topped 16% in mid-December. Digital reporter Kelsey Thompson has more tips on how to help prevent the spread of this illness. Check out her story at KXAN.com.
All right, checking in with David now. What a difference a day makes. Yesterday, it was raining at this time.
It was, and we're going to see that again tomorrow night, and then again early next week.
Wow.
So might be for traffic,
yes.
But boy, the lakes need it, don't they? Here we are in Marble Falls. Speaking of the lakes, of course, this one typically at a relatively stable level. Lake Marble Falls, always gorgeous. But look at the sun reflecting off of that calm lake. Not a lot of wind, skies mainly cloudy. These are some of the first little breaks of sun that we've seen all day on the River City Grill Highland furniture camera, always on our website. It's only 50 degrees out there, certainly jacket weather all day. Thanks to the rain yesterday, though, the falling raindrops actually take cedar pollen out of the air and put it temporarily in the ground. Cedar is down from the huge spike several days ago to the low category. Mold is up only slightly. Not a big deal for allergy sufferers. There goes yesterday's storm on the special water vapor satellite. This one I've pulled up because it shows you what's coming next. Another big bowling ball or cinnamon roll making its way toward Texas. You can see that counterclockwise circulation on a storm taking this southerly route right toward us. Remember, this is what we've been waiting for. December didn't really pan out in terms of El Nino fueled rainfall, but this is an El Nino pattern finally taking shape. How do we know? Well, this Pacific jet stream is setting up the storm track farther south, bringing yesterday's storm and the next two right into our area. That tends to produce wetter weather in Texas, while folks up north stay a little warmer and drier. So hopefully this continues for us. The fog, this is going to be the first issue that we see by morning. No visibility problems tonight, but by sunrise or so tomorrow morning, pockets of thick fog in the metro and more widespread dense fog, dropping visibility down to a quarter or a third of a mile in much of the hill country. Use your low beam headlights, take it easy in the morning, but by 9-10 a.m. the fog lifts as we wait for the rain. Now the rain doesn't immediately follow. Actually, the first half or the first 75% of the day tomorrow looks mainly dry, but after dinner time and really by late tomorrow night, rain becomes much more widespread. This is mainly an overnight thing, we're thinking Thursday night into Friday morning. Here we are on the clouds and radar model, now waiting for the rain. A few breaks of sun this evening, but cloudy skies overall with some fog building in by morning. You see a couple little blips of green here. I don't think we'll have a lot of rain in the morning nor in the afternoon, but as cloudy skies and brisk temperatures continue, we're waiting for the evening. By then, check out the green color expanding. 7 p.m., this is some mist and drizzle starting to become pretty widespread. By 10 p.m. and into the overnight hours, not rain quite as heavy nor as dramatic with the lightning and thunder like we saw yesterday, but widespread, mainly light to moderate, maybe a lightning strike east of Austin. This is mainly overnight, though, as I mentioned, as the rain shuts down by the time you wake up Friday, and nice sunshine continues after that through the weekend. So just about everybody gets in on the rain, but by Friday midday, not expecting any 2-inch totals this time around, mainly a quarter to a half of an inch. Hopefully we can squeeze out a little more than that. So tonight, no rain yet, but a little damp by morning with fog developing. Jacket weather, no doubt, with a low of 41. Tomorrow, only slightly warmer than today and still gray, 56 as we wait for that late evening rain to ramp up. 50% chance of rain late tomorrow, but an 80% chance overnight into early Friday morning. Sunshine and gorgeous temperatures Friday through the weekend. Then there comes another rain-making storm with gusty winds and highs near 70 on Monday. Colder air will follow with a rural freeze by next Tuesday night, and a few more batches of cold air could make for slightly cooler than normal weather overall during the second week of the new year.
All right, David, thank you very much. After the break, a new way Starbucks is trying to help the earth. What you can get for filling up your own cup.
Well, starting today, you can use your own personal cups for drink orders at Starbucks. It's all to reduce waste. Customers can order with clean personal cups in store, at the drive-thru, or with mobile orders, and can be used for all drinks and all sizes. Now, baristas will use new beverage standardized measurements to transfer orders to those personal cups. There's also a financial incentive. Personal cups will get you a 10% discount on beverages, and Starbucks Rewards members get 25 bonus stars.
Well, there's a new dog in town at the American Kennel Club, that is. Say hello to the Lancashire Heeler, the latest breed recognized by the organization. It announced today that the rare herding breed is now eligible for thousands of U.S. dog shows, including the prominent Westminster Kennel Club show. Now, these doggies have long bodies and short coats. They're often black and tan. They're solidly built dogs, and they're shaped a bit like a downsized corgi, standing around 1 foot at the shoulder and weighing up to 17 pounds. Now, historically, they were farm helpers that could both drive cattle and run off rats. Today, they participate in an array of canine sports. Now, their official description or breed standard says that they are courageous, happy, affectionate to their owners, and owners say that they sometimes pull back their lips and kind of smile.
Oh, what a cutie. Well, here's what's ahead on KXAN. Chicago Med starts at 7, followed by back-to-back episodes of Magnum PI before we're back for more news at 10.
Or you can join us an hour earlier for KXAN News at 9 over on CW Austin. Here's where to find us.